this time last week you probably hadn't heard of Joanna Pine. The retired physiotherapist and counsellor was just your average 66-year-old. You know, chilling out at her Sutton Harbour flat, probably drinking cups of tea. Oh, and looking forward to Sunday's writing workshop in Okehampton. More on poetry later, and that's where things went wrong. The short space between Ms. Pine's flat at Mariners Court on Hawkers Avenue and the entrance to the B3240 at Bretonside has become, momentarily, the most talked about road in Plymouth, for it was here that the respectable charitable pensioner incurred the wrath of the city's, and nation's, running community. Joanna Pine, her crime? She ignored the road closed signs and edged out into the Britain's Ocean City half marathon itself, sparking relative panic and genuine fury among the athletes. Ms. Pine reckons she was going at about 1 mile per hour and had no option but to drive out into the throng. It was either that or miss the writing workshop. Her blue, disabled badge was on show the whole time. Ms. Pine, a director of Plymouth Pride and a published poet, is undoubtedly a good citizen. She is among the last people you'd expect to rile up an angry mob. She has admitted that driving into a crowd of runners was, in some ways, a stupid thing to do, but insists she had no idea the road was closed and claims she was allowed on her way by the first marshal she came across. Some locals have come out in her defense, saying Ms. Pine has, in a very roundabout way, highlighted the issue that the event is actually a bit of a nightmare for people who can't leave their homes while the road is blocked off. Jo Pine drives into the path of runners of Britain's Ocean City half marathon. In fact, done us all a favor, was one description of her dubious driving. So let's see which side of the debate the people of Plymouth are sitting. This isn't according to science and we haven't carried out a survey, but we have read all 423, and rising, comments on our Facebook post titled, "Woman Who Drove Onto Half Marathon Route Explains Why She Did It." Someone has even written a poem about it, but you'll have to read on if you want to enjoy it in full. You can add your own 2 pennies worth here but keep it clean, eh? Let's take each strand of Ms. Pine's defense, shall we, and see what you, the great British public, had to say. The comments have been filtered because, frankly, some people are downright rude and need to calm down a bit. Bomb squad called to Plymouth doctor's surgery. I was late for my meeting. Joanna Pine argues with runners. Image submitted. Not rock solid, Your Honor. People were depending on Ms. Pine, granted, but it's just not washing with the public. They're a hard crowd to please, but this is not your punchline. Having said that, some people said they could understand Ms. Pine's anger at being, in her words, trapped at home. And Adam Rowlands threw in a curveball by changing the entire circumstances and then coming out in support of Ms. Pine. Mud faces £2.9 billion black hole in Trident submarine program. Runners quickly become aware car has driven onto the half-marathon course. Image, Rob Bricknell. This one has really wound people up for some reason. Let's face it, ignoring the fact Ms. Pine has lived in this flat since 2014 and this will therefore be her 3rd or 4th half-marathon, it's perfectly plausible that a busy 66-year-old woman may have misplaced a leaflet she thought was junk mail. But no, that's excused, say the people of our Facebook page. Man killed in a 38 crash named as Plymouth biker, 61. The video disappeared to show some inching. More inching than plowing, anyway, albeit maybe partly because of the crowd of people surrounding her car and pushing on the bonnet. And taking her keys. But some people seem to think, and it's up to you if you think this is odd or not, that this particular inching could have been mistaken for a terrorist attack. In fact, it's the inching that seems to have got people's blood to boiling point. Someone has even implied one of Ms. Pine's events deserves some inching of its own. It isn't, in case you were wondering. Armed police seize weapons and suspected drugs in roadside raid. Nobody knows what we can learn from this sorry episode, except, maybe, don't drive onto a half-marathon course. But at least someone has penned this wonderful poem. Mark Devon, we neither agree nor disagree with you and remain impartial at all times. Yet we do wholeheartedly salute you. There was an old lady, she lived by the sea, she didn't like runners, she was all about me. Inching her car onto a road clearly closed, not caring for others or the risk that she posed. She risked human life, an appointment she had, not understanding why people got mad. Workshops are important, she cried, Okehampton is far, look out charity runners, you'll be under her car. Though past deeds that she's done are commendable and kind, don't be a fool, there were plenty of signs. For weeks they've been up, how did she not see? One wonders, is blindness her disability? 1 mile per hour may sound safe and slow, but careless driving, don't give it a go. Rearrange your appointment or leave extra early, the finish line should be tape, not gates white and pearly.